from 10 to 30 times cheaper. Now that makes them weather resilient, wind resistant, water resistant, termite resistant, mold resistant. And everybody asks me, Brian, what does it feel like? It feels like concrete corduroy, but you can literally tell the printer to do anything you want, whether it's the kitchen island or where to put the outlets. You just put it into the laptop and it prints what you want. So I have to say, I do think what they're doing here on this scale could be construction of the future. Brian?
Okay, so lately, if you've been watching the news, you understand that there's a housing crisis. This is not just in the US, but everywhere in the world. This is because the baby boomers are not dying enough so that the millennials are to be able to buy these homes that the boomers were owning. There are multiple things that are causing this housing problem, the housing crisis of the 21st century. 3D printing of houses is going to change everything. Imagine, someone said that, like, imagine if the government could actually build a RDP house. If you're an SA, you understand what's an RDP house within a day. I'm a construction guy myself. I used to build houses. We used to build houses with my aunt, and it takes days just to build one single house. So if you have this 3D printing housing system, you are able to build multiple houses in just a couple of days, build communities or cities in a matter of months. So this is redesigning the world, the solutions to the housing crisis of the 21st century. So first, let's think about the problems that we're having right now. So usually I build a chart, but now, since these are solutions to the housing crisis and the problems are urbanization, overpopulation, energy deficiency, land shortage, and the lack of affordable houses, I'm going to eliminate every problem here with the solutions that I come up with throughout the entire video. Generally, I like preserving land, like public land. The reason why I like preserving land is because I think indigenous people use that land for something, and we don't want to take that away from them and their animals and multiple things that are going on in that ecosystem that we have to preserve. I'm going to group these three things and solve the problem of them at the same time, because even if they seem not linked, they are directly linked. I think this is the concept of this entire video. Understand that multiple problems can have a singular solution. Urbanization, overpopulation, and land shortage. I know this is like, it may sound crazy, but bear with me a little bit. The solution is simple. Maybe most people haven't thought about this, but interior design is the solution to these three problems. Weird, but hey, there are cities all over the world that actually got worried about this, like the problem of urbanizing everything, the growth of a city. Sydney is one of them in Australia. They were trying to stop like growing outside the original city that was intended and trying to preserve the farmland that they had. The solutions and the research that they looked at was making small places seem bigger. It's interior design. This is not a construction problem of growing outside. Like, if you look at it, like, if you don't want people to grow outside the city, then it's no longer a construction problem but an interior problem. If you cut like a big house into like two halves, you may find like multi-purpose furniture like these ones that you see right now. The halved, is it halved? The halved, okay. So the halved houses, if like you design them using this type of interior design, they don't seem halved at all. They seem like full houses, because there's so much space that we don't use in most houses. There's so much empty space, but with this type of interior design, you make enough space for the entire family, even though the normal house was like way larger than it was. But this type of interior design can be used not just in houses, but it can be used in apartments, offices, even warehouses, right? And the study shows that if a population grows inside the city and you build inwards, I think we did a video about this, if you build inwards the city, make use of this type of interior design, everything else improves. You get more jobs, more storage, stronger economy, and more things, right? There's a study, maybe we'll link it below so that you go read it for yourself. So this will help as well with the growth of people moving to cities. Already it's crazy, with 52% of the entire world's population living in cities, and this is going to grow, of course. Like, it is predicted that by 2050, 6.2 billion people are going to be living in cities. That's like doubling the size that they had in 2018, according to the study that I read. So this is going to solve for overpopulation, land shortage, and urbanization, so we can remove them from the list. So we're left with these two problems. Also, I can add pollution, because most cities, if you look at them, there is pollution, right? Energy deficiency, I think it's already out now. I'm going to remove it because I already did a video on what type of energies that we should use and type of infrastructure for energy deficiency, so that we get more energy, right? So go watch those videos. Energy deficiency out, and now the only things that are left is pollution and lack of affordable housing. If you live in like big cities, Johannesburg, New York City, London, and any big city, actually, you'll realize that pollution is like a big problem. I know most people won't believe this, but this is New York, this is London. You can tell that is crazy pollution. But most of these problems can be fixed with like redesigning the systems of waste disposals. So like that's a whole another system that we're not going to focus on right now. I think I've made a couple of videos on food waste, plastic, that can help people understand the problems of pollution, but I'm going to group lack of affordable housing with pollution. Most of the city pollutions are done by construction. So if we eliminate construction waste altogether, we can also eliminate or reduce the cost of housing, because they account for like the losses of the material that they couldn't use if like you're dealing or you are paying for the house, right? So 3D printing houses solves this problem because there is no construction waste. So both of these problems can be solved by just 3D printing of houses. This 3D printing automation process has been proven to be efficient by reducing construction time and waste, energy, material, and labor costs. As I said, I've worked in construction, and it takes time for you to finish anything. With 3D printing, it will be done in less than a day. If we take digital fabrication, digital robotics, and collaboration of technology and human beings, we can solve this problem. They're combining two types of technologies: one, computer-aided design software, and computer-aided manufacturing technologies. This is making building homes so much cheaper and easier to make. Since this solution is for affordable housing, and already 1.8 billion people are being affected right now currently with this lack of affordable housing. This enables affordability, mass customization, and efficiency, right? So mass customization is the one that I was talking about with interior design. So with this 3D printing, you can already design multi-purpose furnitures by just printing them out at the same time as you print out the house, right? So there are multiple papers about this 3D printing. I'm sure I'm not going to get into all of them, so I'm going to link some of them below. These are a few case studies that people have already done. So Winsu, is it Winsu? Okay, Winsu Co. So Winsu Co. Winsun Co. Winsu Co. Winsun Co. Why can't I read this? A Chinese company printed these detachable house components and assembled them all like inside. I think this is not new, because if like you're here in SA, you have seen these new houses, they just bring in those slabs of concrete and then they build the house. But the more impressive one is Apis Corporation and PKI. Is it PKI? No, PIK, which is a Russian company that printed an entire house in like less than 24 hours. It printed it right on site, so that's dope. And these are a couple of other case studies. Project Milestone from Edenville University of Technology. The new story and iconic 3D printed affordable housing in the United States. Taking multiple problems and then like combining maybe solutions or whatever, I think it creates this easier to solve multiple things. I think this is the new way of solving problems, as this is called redesigning the world. You see that most of the solutions that we come up with might have been like similar to other problems that we found from other things, because this is like AGI, learning from other things and then applying them to other things. Human/machine collaboration technology, right? In construction, in these processes will bring fully automated machine, like the benefits that you have like when you have automated machine into construction sites. So there are already robots like Hadrian X that can do bricklaying and multiple things. So this is a fascinating concept that if you want more, comment below. And what's your pushback? I always want pushbacks on these videos.